Let's bring in One Nation leader, Senator Pauline Hanson now. Senator, good to see you. Let's start with these ISIS brides. Do you buy this argument that Labor's not involved in the mission to bring them home?
Not one bit, Danica. What an absolutely farce that is. He couldn't even answer the question. No, I'm going to say my comments, don't know anything about it. Usually if you have nothing to do with it, you'd actually have more to say. He shut it down. He doesn't want to answer any more questions. I don't believe it. Danica, I don't care. I don't want them here. I've got no time for them whatsoever. I don't want their offspring. And the youngest one at 5 years of age, then I asked the question, they are not an Australian citizen. They were born overseas because they started bringing them back in 2019. I think this is the third lot they're bringing in. So at 5 years of age, I don't believe that we should be actually taking them. They're not Australian citizens if they're born overseas. And these people, they're going to be on the public taxpayer-funded purse for the rest of their lives. These women completely wear the burqa or full burqa. They won't get employment if they don't have the husbands to provide for them, so the taxpayer will have to. They are bringing their hate. These people are martyrs who will die for the cause and their beliefs. I've been speaking strongly about this for years and years and years, and especially in my maiden speech when I got back into the Parliament in 2016. It concerns me greatly. And if you look at what's happened in England, Birmingham, 30% of Muslims there, and they're taking over the councils. You've got, Sharia law courts. They're losing their identity, their culture in England, and the same damn thing is going to happen here.
Well, exactly. I mean, you can't just go over there in the name of ISIS on some sort of romantic jihadi getaway and then decide that you want to come back. Sorry, it's not how it works. It doesn't fit with our value system. I completely agree. Now, look, I'll speak with Senator Jacinta Nampijinpa-Price shortly about National Flag Day. She was ordered to remove the Aussie flag, which was draped over her shoulders, and you were too today. Let's have a look.
Senator Hanson, I remind you of the ruling the Deputy President arrived at today, which I have upheld, which is no flags to be worn in the chamber until the matter has been resolved by the Procedures Committee. So I'd ask you to take the flag off.
Senator, why is the Senate so afraid of the Aussie flag?
Afraid of this. That's what they're afraid of, Danica. And you know what? It flies on top of the building, it flies in the chamber, and it was the Greens that raised the issue about saying you shouldn't be wearing the flag. And they said, oh, it's a prop. It's not a prop. They wear the kaffir every time in the Parliament. No one says anything about it. The President says nothing about it. And it disgusts me that this was raised by the Deputy President, who is actually Liberal, and he raised it and made the decision not to wear it. It is absolutely appalling. And then the Green Senator McKim gets up and says, well, if you allow the Australian flag to be worn in this chamber, then I'm going to wear the Palestinian flag. This is how, this is what our country has come to. I'm so angry about this and I'm so upset by this. The people that on the weekend that walked with pride carrying the Australian flag, we are elected members of Parliament for the Australian people under the Australian flag that people have fought and died for. And we are told we can't display it in our Parliament on the one special day, which is our Australian Flag Day. And that's how gutless these people are. I put it to the vote that it should be, able to be worn in the Parliament just before I came up to here. And guess what? 22 people supported it. All of Labor, all of the Greens, and Senator Fatima Payman voted against it being able to be worn on the floor of Parliament. Jackie Lambic, Pocock and Tammy Tyrrell, I didn't see them at all on the floor of Parliament to vote on such an important issue. It turns my stomach and makes me so mad. And I'll warn people out there, you keep voting for these bastards that actually don't have pride in our country and our Australian flag, then be prepared to get what we're going to get. And we've seen it now with the division that is happening, the hatred that we see on the streets, the escalating crime, and that's only going to escalate even further unless we take a stand on this and make sure you know who you vote for next time. And certainly never vote for the Greens, the hateful, un-Australian people they are.
Well, look, good on you. Look, I can hear the passion in your voice, and you are absolutely spot on. And it baffles me, Senator, that we seem to think that the Australian flag is racist now. It is not racist to wave the Australian flag, so good on you for taking a stand. And it brings me to my next question, because I want to ask you about migration. Labor's confirmed it's got no intention to lower the rate of migration. The number of migrants granted permanent residency here will not change this financial year. You've got people marching over the weekend, including yourself, to say we need to lower it. We can't get everyday Aussies into households. Big Australia keeps getting bigger. No wonder Aussies are frustrated.
They are certainly frustrated and don't feel that they're saying they're not. Of course, they're not going to lower it. And then they bring in 20. They wanted to cap the student numbers, and they've put another 25,000 students on it to it, taken up to about 300,000. Then they've got all the foreign workers and backpackers and those people coming here. Then you've got the overstayers of over 175,000 overstayed their visas. Those people shouldn't be in the country. It is absolute basket case of what's happening out there, and no wonder the Australian people are so angry. But I'll keep fighting about the mass migration. It is about mass immigration that's happening here, and it's destroying our standard of living, way of life, and access to services that every Australian has a right to. But the government brings them in purely for the vote, and the fools out there keep voting for them. You're going to suffer. You will suffer.
Yep, politically it suits Labor. Give us a wave of the Aussie flag again, please, Senator. We want to see it one more time before we let you go. There it is.
With pride.
With pride, absolutely. Good on you. You are a wonderful advocate for this country, and good on you for keeping them honest about this. Absolutely. One Nation Leader, Senator Pauline Hanson. Good to catch up as always. Thanks so much for joining me.